Imagine this. It's 4:52 a.m. You're wide awake, staring at the ceiling. You have a heavy sense of disappointment pressing on your chest. You've hit a big milestone in life, turning 40. You've accomplished a lot financially, but somehow it all feels hollow. You want it more, not just in terms of success, but in actual fulfillment. Your wife is starting to ask for more of your time. Your kids are growing up too fast, and even when you're there, you're not really there. The work never seems to end, and somewhere deep down you feel that pull that something needs to change. But you're stuck. You don't know what to change or where to start. If any of that sounds familiar, stay with me, because today I'm going to share a powerful tool that can help you recalibrate your life and reconnect with what truly matters. It's called the Clarity and Alignment Blueprint, and it's designed specifically for high-achieving freelancers like you who feel disconnected from their deeper purpose in life. So what exactly is the Clarity and Alignment Blueprint? Well, it's a step-by-step guide to help you find out what's missing and make purposeful changes in your life. By following this blueprint, you can rediscover your core values, reimagine your vision for the future, and realign your daily priorities to reflect what truly matters. Now, whether or not you decide to download the free workbook that I'll mention later, the insights you'll gain from this video alone will be enough to get you started. So I recommend you watch the video through once, and then you decide if you want to get the free workbook or not. But then you can go through the video again, this time pausing it after each question to truly answer it. So with that, let's dive into the first step of the blueprint, where we take a moment to reflect on where you are now and why you feel this way. So let's start with an honest look at where you are right this second. Now you might be thinking, I should be happier with everything I've accomplished. But deep down there's this nagging feeling that something isn't right. So here's what I want you to do. Grab a journal or open up a document and write down or type out your top achievements, both professionally and personally. Now really take a moment to acknowledge what you've built, what you've sacrificed, and how it made you feel at the time. Now ask yourself, does it still bring you the same sense of fulfillment today, or does it feel like something is missing? Here's a powerful question to consider. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Is it purely for financial stability? Is it for recognition? Or is there some deeper reason that you haven't tapped into yet? Write down your thoughts. It's not just an exercise, it's a mirror to show you what's driving your dissatisfaction. Now the next question to explore is, what's missing that makes me feel unfulfilled? Is it time with your family? The freedom to pursue the passions that you put on hold? The answer may surprise you, and that's where this real breakthrough begins. Reflecting on these questions help you identify the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And if the idea of doing this feels heavy, remember that clarity actually comes by facing the hard truths. So now that you've taken stock of your current state, it's time to revisit and define your core values. These are the guiding principles that should shape your decisions and your life. To start, I recommend listing out the values that resonate with you. Things like family, your faith, growth impact, freedom. From that list, narrow it down to the top 5 to 7 values that truly matter to you, that you want to guide your life moving forward. Now here's where it gets really powerful. Take each of those core values and ask yourself, am I living this value daily, or is it just something I say is important? For example, if family is one of your top values, but you find yourself constantly missing dinner with your kids, or you're checking emails when you should be present with your wife, then that's a gap that you need to bridge. So write down these observations. Don't be afraid to be honest with yourself. Next, we're going to connect those values to actions. So how can you align your daily routine with those top values? And maybe it's as simple as blocking out time for family every evening, or setting a hard stop on your workday. If you realize a value like growth isn't being fulfilled, Think about how you can integrate personal development or hobbies that challenge you back into your life. By defining and reconnecting with your core values, you start to shift from being driven by external expectations to being aligned with what truly matters to you. This clarity is the foundation for the next steps in the blueprint. It's where we'll explore how to reimagine your vision for the future. With a clear understanding of your current achievements and core values, it's time to look forward. This step is about vision reimagining, or painting a picture of what an ideal life looks like when it's aligned with your values. So I want you to pause. You can close your eyes for a moment if you'd like. Imagine yourself 5 to 10 or even 20 years from now. And picture the details. Where are you? Who's with you? What are you doing? And how do you feel? Now take that vision and write it down as if it's happening today. Be specific. Describe not just your work, but your relationships, personal growth, and even your leisure. Maybe in your ideal future, you're working fewer hours. You're attending all of your kids' school events. You're finally taking that long-awaited vacation overseas with your spouse. Whatever it is, let it be vivid. The vision isn't just a wish list. It's a blueprint for where you actually want to head. It's about moving away from a life that just happens to you and towards a life that you actively create. Once you've written it out, look at your vision and ask yourself, does this align with the core values that I identified earlier? If it does, then great, you're on the right track. If it doesn't, then you need to adjust it until it feels authentic to you. Finally, you need to summarize this vision into a single statement, something that you can refer back to as your North Star. This vision statement will keep you anchored when life gets busy and hard decisions have to be made. It's a reminder of what you're working towards and why it matters. With your vision and core values in mind, it's time to realign your priorities in order to match those. This is where purposeful action comes into play. The goal here is to make your day-to-day life reflect the life that you just envisioned. So start by doing a simple time audit. Spend a week tracking how you spend your time, and then compare it against your core values and vision. Are your days filled with tasks that align with what's most important to you? Or are they dominated by obligations that actually drain you? And once you have that clarity, it's time to actually shift your schedule. Now, this could mean that you actually set boundaries that protect your time with family, or it could be carving out a space for personal hobbies that help you grow. For example, you could start blocking off non-negotiable personal time, whether that's for an early morning walk or a dinner with your wife, or just an hour to disconnect and recharge. You need to remember that purposeful realignment is not just about saying no more often. It's about saying yes to the right things. Set boundaries, not only with clients, but with yourself. Protect the time that you have and allocate it for what actually matters. Now, this may require you to redefine or change how you actually approach work. You should delegate tasks and focus on the tasks that only you can do. To help live a life that you desire, you need to engage in a life portfolio planning. Divide your life into these 7 areas. It's from my Focus Echo Flow. It's your faith. It's your friends. It's your family. It's your fortune. It's your fitness. It's your foresight or your mind. It's your feelings or your emotions. You need to assess how much attention you're actually giving to each of these 7 areas. The goal is not perfection, it's alignment. Make small adjustments that will ripple out and bring your life closer to the vision that you defined. When you start prioritizing purposefully, you shift from feeling overwhelmed and reactive to feeling intentional and fulfilled. And this sets the stage for exploring whether your career aligns with your vision. And that's what we're going to cover in these next steps. Now that you have spent some time reflecting, you've defined your values, and you've begun realigning your priorities, it's time to look at how your career fits into this picture. Now, this step is crucial because for most freelancers, work isn't just a job, it's a part of who you are. But ask yourself, is my career aligned with my ideal life and core values? If the answer is no, or even maybe, then it's time for some honest evaluation. Start by doing a passion versus profession analysis. Make a list of what you enjoy about your work and what you don't. This exercise can be eye-opening. If you find that the aspects you enjoy are heavily outweighed by what you don't, or if your daily grind feels detached from your values, then you need to explore a shift. You need to ask yourself, if money were not an issue, would I still do this job? Would I still serve these people? Your answer to this question can reveal whether that your career aligns with your vision. And if not, you can pivot as necessary. If you find that your current path isn't fulfilling you, consider new avenues that align with your values. This doesn't mean dropping everything overnight. Start exploring different side projects or small adjustments within your current work. Maybe it's shifting from general freelancing to focusing on projects that excite you, or maybe it's integrating skills and passions that's been dormant for far too long. Integrating your work and your life, it doesn't necessarily mean working less just for the sake of it. It means making sure that the work you're doing is energizing you for the rest of your life. See how you incorporate more flexibility into your work so that frees you up to do other things that truly matter. If what you do to serve your clients is aligned with your values and vision, you'll find that work becomes more than just a means to an end. It's not just about achieving financial success. It actually becomes part of your fulfillment. So now let's focus on something that often suffers when work takes over, and that's relationships. So whether it's family or friends, relationships are essential for a fulfilling life. So start with a family time audit. Reflect on how often you've had to miss important moments or felt mentally absent when you were physically present. This awareness is the first step that you need to take towards change. Once you've assessed your current state, it's time for open communication. So sit down with your wife, share what you've been working through, the vision, the values, and why things need to change. This isn't just about you. It's about building mutual understanding and inviting their support into this new chapter of your life. Ask them how they feel and what they need as well. This way you can make adjustments together. Communication doesn't end at home. If work boundaries are constantly being overstepped, have honest discussions with your clients. Let them know your availability and set clear expectations. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, you're not just setting boundaries, you're protecting time for what really matters. This step reinforces that relationships, they're not just something that fits into the cracks of your schedule. They actually need to be dedicated time, and you need to give them dedicated attention. Beyond conversations, think about simple, actionable changes. Prioritize standard activities like family dinners, game nights, or even 15-minute check-ins with your wife. It's the small, consistent moments that strengthens your bonds over time. Now, this may feel like a big shift, but building stronger relationships and communicating openly, it's going to give you the emotional support and the stability to move forward. And it's not just about you. It's showing up better for all the people that you love. Now, this journey, it's about progress. It's not about perfection. Now that you've evaluated your career, realigned your priorities, strengthened your relationships, it's time to take action. But here's the thing. Big changes don't happen overnight. Sustainable transformation is built on small, consistent steps. The key is to create a step-by-step plan that breaks your vision into manageable actions. So you can start with simple changes, like setting non-working hours in your schedule, or to commit to regular family dinners. Think about it like this. If you're trying to carve out more time for your wife and your kids, you don't necessarily need to plan an elaborate trip right away. Instead, you need to start with time blocks in your week for quality moments. Maybe it's a 30-minute walk after dinner or a no work weekend policy. These small adjustments can create the momentum that actually help you build the habits that align with your core values and your vision. Now, here's a warning. When you make these changes, you need to be prepared for obstacles. Life will definitely test your resolve with unexpected challenges or urgent work requests, and that's normal. Disruption always follows intention. The key is to anticipate these hurdles and have strategies to stay on track. For example, you need to maybe set reminders or have an accountability partner who checks in on your progress. And don't overlook the power of delegation, whether that means hiring a VA or another team member, or automating repetitive tasks, or utilizing tools like AI. The goal is to lighten your load. So you can implement your plan gradually. If you try to overhaul your life all at one time, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and revert back to old habits. So one approach is you can focus on one area at a time. Maybe it's establishing a solid evening routine or setting boundaries with clients. And these small wins accumulate. You'll start to see tangible changes that will feel more aligned with your vision. Another option is to actually go through all 7 areas of your life, like I talk about in the Focus Echo Flow. And you determine where you want to be in all those areas in your life. And you make changes in all areas. Certain ones will get more focused than others. So you can decide which way you want to go about that. Personally, I like tackling all of the areas, focusing on a core 2 or 3, and then making sure that all my time isn't spent there, and I'm focusing on other areas as well. Now, these actions are not just adjustments. They're actually investments into the life that you want to create. So you can start small or do a massive overhaul, but the key is you need to stay consistent and continually make progress. Now, you've taken action. You've begun to see the shifts, but how do you make sure that you stay aligned over the long haul? This is where regular reflection and adjustment comes in. Think of this step as your monthly check-in, and it's to ensure that you're still on the right path. At the end of each month, set aside 30 minutes to reflect on what's been working and what hasn't been working. Now, this isn't just another task. It's a powerful habit that will keep you grounded and intentional. You can ask yourself, what went well this month? What could be improved? Was I able to maintain the boundaries that I set? Did I show up for the important moments that I committed to? Now, you need to be honest with your answers. This reflection helps you fine-tune your approach and make the necessary adjustments. Celebrating small wins is just as important as identifying areas for improvement. If you successfully kept your non-work hours or carved out more family time, acknowledge it. Progress, doesn't even matter how small, progress fuels motivation. Now, on the flip side, if you find that certain changes didn't stick, don't be too discouraged. This is your chance to pivot. Maybe the solution isn't scrapping the idea, but adjusting it to fit better in your life. Another helpful tool is a brief summary of your reflections. So write down what you've learned and set new goals for the upcoming month. These goals should be small, actionable, and aligned with your core values. Over time, this habit of regular reflection and adjustment turns into a cycle of continuous improvement. And that will actually keep you aligned with your vision and your values. So again, remember, this journey, it's not about perfection. It's just about staying committed to the path, making small tweaks as needed, always moving forward. And by embedding this practice of regular check-ins, you ensure that your life evolves in a way that's not just reactive, but it's purposeful and it's fulfilling. So keep reflecting, keep adjusting, and most importantly, keep celebrating the small steps that bring you closer to the life you truly want, that you truly desire. If you've resonated with what we've talked about today, and then you're ready to take a journey a little bit further, then I have something that will help you take this next step. It's called From Confusion to Clarity. It's a workbook. It's not just another guide. It's a comprehensive tool, and it walks you through the clarity and alignment blueprint that we just went over. It helps you see it step by step. And with this workbook, you'll have the exercises, the questions, and the space to reflect and create your personalized action plan all in one place. I mean, imagine having a clear roadmap that takes you from feeling stuck and overwhelmed to living a life that aligns with your deepest values and vision. The workbook is designed to help you create that shift. You'll move from just thinking about making changes to actually making changes. And you'll do it one small step at a time. So if you're ready to move from confusion to clarity and start creating a life that's aligned and fulfilled and purpose-driven, download the workbook now. The link is in the description below. It's time to change what you've been wanting. And this workbook is your first step. Thank you for watching, and remember, your journey to fulfillment starts with a single intentional step. And I'll see you in the next video.